completes our staff reports for this evening. Now it's time for public comment. Anyone who's in the audience that wishes to speak, please approach the microphone here, state your name and address for the record. We ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes. Kevin will keep track of the time and raise his hand when the 2 minutes are up. We ask that you stop then. So those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver the comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments. And the City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. So anyone who wishes to speak, now is your opportunity. Come up to the front here and give us your comments.
Good evening, council members. Matt Sennick, 2519 Stony Creek Drive. Good to be here this evening. I'm going to chat with you about the East Side Corridor project and a few observations that I've had over the past couple of months. A couple meetings ago, we heard from the county engineer talking about the study being done on the East Side Corridor project, and where many months have gone by now, and we've been told as residents that there's only one route that's being studied, and that's 29th Avenue, which is the residential route that was planned next to a couple different neighborhoods, one of 150 homes. And all of a sudden, now we've got multiple routes involved in a study, according to the county engineer as of a couple meetings ago, which is really news to our ears, obviously, as residents, that there are multiple alternatives being studied. But then we had the letter of support that went to the county from the city, mentioning not just East Side Corridor project, but also 29th Avenue, which is that route next to the homes. That was a little confusing. I'm glad a couple councilmen cleared that up before the vote took place, that it was in reference to the East Side Corridor project, not necessarily just 34th Avenue, or 29th Avenue rather. The routes being entertained moving forward hopefully do include 34th, as the county engineer said. That seems to be a nice alternative, although you don't hear that come up in discussions with the city or the county at all. 29th keeps coming up. Came up at the last meeting when we were talking about a bike path and some other budgetary comments. But yet we have no study back yet to tell us the 29th is the alternative that should be chosen. So there's just some conflicting information that seems to lead to a lot of confusion amongst residents. So we've got some money allocated, the budgetary money for a bike path along 29th Avenue, which doesn't exist yet and hasn't come back as the preferred alternative in the study. But we have no whatsoever budgetary items for mitigations that might be caused by a highway going in next to these residential neighborhoods. So I'd like that to be cleared up wherever possible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to have to start sitting closer to the front.
Okay, Gary.
Gary Jones, 995 Ridge Road. I've spoken before about safety concerns with the archery deer hunt. Let's forget deer for a minute. I've got 3 scenarios so I'm going to run by. A land around a water tower that goes all the way to the ground. You have to mow around it. No lock, no cage. If someone calls, the city official says, well, it's easier for maintenance when the ladder goes to the ground. No kid's going to climb a water tower. We've never had a problem. So if an issue arises, we'll address it at that time. A manhole cover is missing and unmarked. And someone calls and tells the official a wheelchair could fall right into this. And the official says, they've been working on that for a month. And the safety cones blow away. We've never had a problem. If an issue arises, we'll address it at that time. Scenario number 3. They were putting a new fence around the water park, and after removing the old one, the contractor's delayed for a month. So there's no fence around the water park. When some parent calls, the city official says, well, they're getting to it. Do you actually think some kid is going to sneak in there at 11 o'clock at night and dive head first into the shallow end? We've had no problems. If an issue arises, we'll address it at that time. These sound ridiculous, but we have 33 deer stands scattered around 11 small city parks over 8 weeks with a minimum of 20 up at any one time. These are unprotected, unmonitored, and open for business for kids 24/7. These stands are not in a 3,000-acre state forest. They are in tiny city parks. We are led to believe that these stands are 5 feet in the air and the archer shoots straight down between their feet. They're 12 to 15 feet in the air with ladders, as you can see in the pictures, that are an attractive nuisance to any kids. Do kids climb ladders? Yes. Might some kid who walks through Manthe after school try to climb one and take a selfie? Yes, they probably will. The DNR website states that any hunter using an elevated tree stand has a 33% chance of a fall, resulting in serious injuries. In Ohio, 90% of all hunting injuries and deaths are from tree stand falls. These deer stands are scattered to attached to the tree with straps. The feet of the ladder at Manthe go right into the path where you have to walk around it or trip over it. And the tree stand at Leo Rudolph is 30 feet from a path where kids ride by on fat tire bikes. How do we fix this? Do what other metro areas are doing. First, do a deer count to see if you have a problem at all, and if so, have the hunt over 2 weekends only. Close the parks, get the ladders out between the 2 weekends, and keep the park goers safe. Please protect kids from this dangerous, unmonitored hazard. Don't let some kid get killed or paralyzed on your watch. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, for bringing that to us. Anyone else wish to speak that's in the audience this evening? Looks like not, so we'll go to council comment, and first up tonight is Kevin.
I have nothing to speak of.
Okay, Brent? You guys haven't thought about anything yet, it's only January 2nd, isn't it? Doug?
Well, you know, I can't pass it up. Slightly before Christmas, I was reading the city's official paper, which is the People's Press, and it was the article about us lowering the levy. And I happened to notice that it said that we had raised the budget $18.2 million this year. I think if we saw that, we'd all notice that. And I just wanted to assure the public, I've had a few people come up and they were upset about that. The $18.2 million is the total levy. We did not raise anything by that amount, and so just wanted to put that to rest in case that's still being talked about.
Thank you, Doug, for pointing that out. Nick?
Nothing to add.
Dave?
Nothing to add.
Ken?
Nothing to add.
Oh, Mayor?
I still have an opening on the HRA and the Park and Rec. Jen and I hope to fill that for by the 16th. So if you have any interest, please fill out an application this week.
All right, thank you, Mayor. And Chris, Lucy?
Yes, we have Martin Luther King Day coming up on January 15th. And the Human Rights Commission is doing something a little different this year. Instead of a breakfast, they're having a lunch that they are hosting at the Steele County History Center at 11:30. And our speaker is going to be Seema Panthini. Her speech is going to be about Speak Up, tools for recognizing and responding to injustices in the moment by humanizing each other. So should be a really good program. It's all free. We ask that people pre-register so we can get an idea of numbers on Eventbrite. And we just urge everyone to come. I think it's going to be a great event.
Great, thank you, Chris. Well, we got through our first meeting of the year. It's always got a little different things to it, but we got all this done, so we're off to a good start. So I would entertain a motion